I don't know why, but lately I can't think of any intros. Any good intros. Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I think I've covered before, but probably not specifically, and probably it was attached to the end of a bigger video, and a lot of people don't watch all the way to the end. So, today, I want to talk about how a lot of people are thinking about their character demos, and animation demos, and video game demos all wrong. And I've made these mistakes too, so don't worry, it's not just you. If I say anything that you're like, oh, I've done that, it's not just you. Everybody, everybody has pretty much made these mistakes. So I get a lot of people, and again, it's not a burden. I enjoy reviewing people's demos and helping people out if they ask me for it. I will not go out and search people to review their stuff and give them unsolicited advice. I try not to do that, but my email is down below. That's one of the things that it's for. If you need help, put that down below. But one recurring thing that I see with a lot of people's first or early demos is that they're going about it kind of all wrong up here. Even if the audio quality, even if the recording quality and the sound effects quality and the music quality is good, there seems to be a reoccurring theme with people's first demos. And I don't know if anyone's really covered the mindset of a character demo or an animation demo or a video game demo. The key issue, the reoccurring theme across all of these demos that I've reviewed is that it really just seems like it's a monologue with music. And that's basically it. A character demo is so much more. There's so many more things that you need to think about. And so I'm going to try to explain how I go about a demo and what I look for in a good demo, and I want you to kind of keep these things in mind. Now, the problem with a demo, not really the problem, but more the difficulty, the issue with getting it right is the fact that there is no visual. And you're creating everything from scratch. Or should be, at least. Because there's no visual, it's hard for a lot of people, especially people who don't have a highly creative mind or an artistic sense, it's hard for them to picture what is going on in these small segments of their demo. Now, each demo is divided in segments or bits where it is 6 or 8 different segments that they all come together in order to make about a 60-second demo. And each bit is supposed to tell basically its own story. And you can have 1 or 2 characters, kind of, as long as, like, the majority of the time it's you every single time. If you do both characters and you want to have 2 people talking back and forth, you can do that. I only every now and then include other people into my demos, only if, because this is how I do my demos. I record each bit separately, and I edit each bit completely separately from the others. It's its own project file. It has its own sound effects. It has its own music. It has its own folder that I put all my takes in. And then I write it out individually. And then I will edit it as if it was its own thing. And it's normally about anywhere between 8 and 16 seconds. And if it's longer, sometimes it's because I put in a lot more thought and effort into it. And I put a lot more energy behind it. But when I go to put it into the demo, and then I take these individual bits that have been rendered, and then I line them all up and cut them and trim them to get about 60 seconds, you know, then I do that, but they're all finished bits. I don't have an entire timeline where I just have dialogue, music. No. Edit them and treat them all completely different. There's a couple reasons that I do this. Number one, if I'm focusing one whole day on just that one segment, that one bit, that one character or voice or what have you, and then I wait until after that one is completely rendered and done, and then I wait to record and edit and do all that other stuff with the other one, they're going to sound different. Because I've recorded them and edited them and treated them like their own project on different days. So they rarely ever sound similar, especially with the music and sound effects. And this way, every single bit has its own love that was put into it, has its own series of sound effects and background noise and music, and they all sound unique and different. Now, sometimes the full version of that one bit is a lot longer than it really needs to be, and technically I'm only keeping like a small segment in the middle. But sometimes if it's longer, then I might actually have another voice actor in there to just kind of like fill out a scene. But in the 60-second version, they're normally cut out. Just because I like posting all of my long individual bits, the full version of them, also on my website. And also, under my demos, and then having each one of these segments as their own thing. And you can get the full story, kind of, more or less. But a lot of people basically just record all the dialogue in a row, all at once, together, and then just put music track behind it, and sometimes sound effects. What happens there, and this is, again, something that's reoccurring, is that every single one of those lines, even if they're different characters and different scenes, they're not being treated like different scenes. They're not being treated like different characters. And a lot of them, almost all of them, sound the same. And I'm not talking about the voice. Like, a lot of people are getting into animation and video game, and they're just not good at doing different character voices. A cartoon demo, you absolutely need to be able to do more than just your voice. Absolutely. Animation and video game, you can kind of get away with basically just you doing your own voice. But what I mean by they sound the same or sound very similar is the fact that the inflection, the rhythm, the pace, the energy, the cadence, all of that is the same. And that's because when you were in front of the mic and you had it recording, you had your dialogue in front of you, you were in one state of mind. You had locked down into one, basically, way of being in order to record. You're like, okay, this is me, I'm going to do this, and then you did every single character with that same inflection, with that same thought in your mind. But you need to space them out. You need to space them out. Record a whole bunch of takes. Treat these like actual gigs. Treat your demos like actual gigs. So you got your dialogue, write your dialogue, and then when you record that, record multiple times. So many demos that I get, I ask them how many times they actually recorded, and they're like, oh, just the one. Why? Record it multiple times and go with the best one. All the time. Treat your demo as if it's an actual gig. Like actual project. Another thing to keep in mind, and these are all things I'm just trying to seed in your brains for the next time you do your demo, try to paint a sound picture. I'm trying to think of the best way of saying this. Try to paint a painting. Try painting with sound, with audio. What I mean by this is give people a full picture of what that individual bit of the demo is about. So you need to know exactly what is going on. It's not just, this is the character, this is his dialogue, this is the music. What you need to write is, where is this character standing? What year is this character in? What's the character look like? Who are they talking to? What happened before this scene? What's going to happen after this scene? And maybe what kind of project or what kind of show or what kind of video game it would be. Think of all those things. Write those down on your sheet. So get your Word document. Write your character. I have another video on how I break down my my dialogue for my demos, how I write them out, and how I kind of have like key phrases that tells me what the character is. But go into a little bit more detail, especially if you're not used to visualizing all of this stuff. Write all of it down. Every single one of those bits. Who is this character? Where are they? What happened before? What happened after? What time period? What do they look like? What do they dress like? What kind of project is it? Write all that down. Visualize every single bit of that. Now, if you need a little bit more help, I would also suggest going on Google and finding images of characters or fan art or DeviantArt or whatever that would best describe the character that you visualized. Now, you're not using these images for your demo. You're using these images to help you visualize, especially if you can't easily visualize it in your head because you don't have an artistic mind, not autistic, artistic, and can't visualize the scene and setting that clearly, and you need a little bit of help. Go find some images that best suit what you had in mind, and then have that there beside you, right there underneath the description with the dialogue when you record. It's going to help you paint a bigger picture, better picture. And then after you record, giving it your all and trying to, really sell that scene, record multiple times, go with the best ones, finish your editing in whatever program you're doing for the audio, and then take it into whatever program that you're using to add the sound effects and music. I often recommend that people do putting in the layers of sound effects and music and stuff like that in a different program than Audacity, because Audacity, you can't do too many layers before it starts to kind of act up and kind of freeze up on you. So I would often recommend that you use more of a video editing software, Adobe or Sony Vegas, those kind of things. Anything that gives you a lot of layers. Do that there. It's easier to just cut it together. And then once you're done with that one segment, that one bit, completely done with it, and you've rendered it out, I normally render it out in a very high resolution and then one that's also lower, often the MP3. That's the full length. Then move on to the next character or next bit. Then move on to those. Because now that you've gotten that out of the way, you've gotten that completely out of your mind, you're not thinking about it anymore, it's finished, it's done. Now you can clear your mind, close all that other stuff, and start writing the next one. Or start visualizing the next one. Because maybe you got the dialogue already written out. Maybe you already got that written in advance. One of the things that I do is I'll just randomly, when I'm walking around the house, just think of a demo, a segment of a demo, and a character, and then their lines. And I'll go and I'll write it down. And then whenever I'm ready, sometimes I'll record it in the moment. It just depends on how confident I am or how good, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And I'll record it, but I won't edit until a long time later. Mostly because I don't need to be making a demo every single time. I don't need a demo every single year. I don't need a demo, that soon. But sometimes when something really, really good comes to me, I will record it and I will get that ready for the next time I make a demo. And then when I've gotten about, 6 or 8 bits that are more than a minute that I can cut down into a minute, then I'll start editing them and making another demo. That's kind of how I go about it. So, visualize your demos. Visualize them. Who is the character? What are they doing? Where are they? When are they? What happened before? What happened after? What kind of scene is it? Think about all these things. Write all that down. Find yourself a visual aid if you need it. Record and edit, all that kind of stuff on different days. Because if you're doing about 6 or 8 bits, then that's basically, it's about a week. It's about a week. And you don't want to rush your demo. There's no reason to rush your demo. If you put out a really quick, crappy demo, it's not like you're going to get more work than you would have if you had released a better demo the following week. So just go ahead and wait. There's a lot of waiting in voiceover. There's a lot of waiting. So there you go. Don't make it just a monologue with music. Put a little more thought behind it. visualize it a little bit better. You're trying to paint a picture with sound, with audio. That's kind of our job. It's kind of our job. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine, but you have to say why in detail. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave those down in the comment section below. Also, my email is in the description if you wanted a more personal one-on-one questionnaire. If you want to ask me any questions that are too long for a comment or too personal for a comment, that's what that's for. And yeah, it's going to be it. And I was so close. I was so close. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.